Hi, good morning, everyone. This is James at Dream Better English, and we're live with you this morning. I'm just going to try and move my camera over here, get me there on the screen. Okay, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing very well this morning. What we're going to do is, for anybody who's new and looking at this, I'm going to be looking at some news today. I'm going to be looking at what's in the headlines. We're helping you with your English. I'm just going to drop this down here. Give me 1 second. Bring this down. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be trying to help you in different areas of your English. But at the same time, this is not going to be something that's, like I've said before, but if you're new, it's not going to be intense, okay? It's just going to be more relaxed. You guys are more than welcome to participate. I'll be handing out a number later on in the stream, so you can contact me via WhatsApp if you like. You can contact me if you're watching on YouTube. You can send a message there. And I'm also for the first time live on LinkedIn today, so very happy to be with my followers of anybody who's on LinkedIn. You're very welcome. And this is a new stream, so let's jump into it. Let's just get into it. I'm going to be looking at the headlines first, then I'm going to be going into something about interviews, the top 20 most common questions. Now, it's something that I've been working on, and it's a nightmare because I'm trying to record videos so I can upload it. But you know how it is when you're organizing presentations. You keep stopping and starting again. So I feel more comfortable in this stream when I'm with you guys that I can just go ahead and talk about it and ask for your feedback as well. So anyway, let's go in to see what was going on while we were sleeping. This is a picture of, let's zoom in here, Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta. We remember from that famous film Grease. And it seems that, let's have a look. Yes, the actress and singer Olivia Newton-John has died. So that's pretty sad. It's very scary as you get older and you realize that all the people that were famous when you were younger start dying. It's really, when you're young, everything is, you feel, invincible. And then, of course, as we get older, people start dying. We hear about friends dying. It's scary. Once you hit your 40s, I think. Once you hit your 40s, people start getting sick and dying. Actress and singer Olivia Newton-John has died. The Australian star has died aged 73. It's a bit young, to be honest. Her husband announced in a statement posted on social media on Monday. A phrasal verb we can use here for posted would be in a statement put up on social media, because when you do anything related to websites or social media, you can also use the phrasal verb put up, P-U-T space U-P. The cause of her death has not been specified, notes Variety magazine, but the actress has been battling for 30 years against breast cancer, which happened again when something recurs for the third time in 2000 or 2017. Two ways of saying that, 2017 or 2017. Breast cancer is awful. And to be honest, the fact that she had breast cancer 3 times, I'm surprised she made it that far. She became world famous for her role in the cult musical Grease alongside John Travolta. To his credit, some 40 country and pop albums, including Physical, a huge success, and hundreds. Okay. Right, so that's Olivia Newton-John. What we say in English, may she rest in peace. R.I.P., rest in peace. May she rest in peace. If anybody that you know, family, or you need to say to somebody in the English language, whatever it is, when you want to offer condolences, a nice one to say is, I'm very sorry for your loss. May he rest in peace. May she rest in peace. So the next, moving on then, is the next piece of news. While we were sleeping, Donald Trump claims his Mar-a-Lago residence was raided by the FBI. They even broke into my safe where you keep the money or your valuables. The former Republican president was indignant on Monday, saying he was the victim of political persecution. Contacted by the American media, the FBI, which has not yet confirmed the search, declined to comment. So Donald Trump, he's always in the news. He attracts problems, this man. He attracts problems, but I think he's going to be running for president in the next elections. And my guess, not that I support him, I don't care. I'm not on the left, I'm not on the right. My guess, if he runs, he'll be successful. That's my guess. You tell me what you think. It's not that I want him to be successful or I don't want him to be successful, but Joe Biden is just an expression here. He has one foot in the grave. Okay? In Spanish, somebody told me if I say this in Spanish, I'll be considered very, very native. It's no le queda, what was it? No le queda ni dos telediarios. Okay, he can tell me if that's if that's true or not. But in English, it's he has one foot in the grave. The grave is where you get buried. No le queda ni dos telediarios. Okay. The Washington Post said such a search is deeply unusual for a former president, and this represents a historic moment in Trump's tortured relationship with the Justice Department, highlights the Washington Post. Okay, I don't know if the Washington Post supports the left or the right. So we say it's a leftist newspaper, or it's on the right, on the left, on the right. Okay. Cuba, the fire and oil depot, this is how we pronounce this word, depot, which is like where you keep things, like a warehouse, but it's a depot, still out of control. So there's a fire in Cuba in an oil depot. The disaster began on Friday evening when lightning struck one of the 8 tanks of the depot located in Matanzas, 100 kilometers. Often when you want to say 100, we can just, anything with 1 in English, let's just say 100. More native to say it that way. Matanzas, 100 kilometers east of Havana. Riddled with fire, the cylindrical structure exploded in the early hours of Saturday, spreading the flames to a second tank. That's very unfortunate, and I thought that tanks would be protected from lightning because it is kind of quite possible that it could be struck by lightning, but they should be protected. They have these kind of antennae which go down to the ground. I don't know. Authorities announced on Monday that a third tank had been destroyed by flames. According to the latest report, a firefighter died and 16 are still missing. Jesus. This fire comes as the island faces the obsolescence of the 8 thermal power stations to meet the increased demand for electricity due to summer heat. You'll notice my pronunciation here of this word is when we have a DU, right? DU. On the British side of the Atlantic, it's pronounced like a J, like my name is James, so it's like Jew. DU is pronounced like a J, like during the week, Jew. Can't think of anything else at the moment. But sometimes in the United States, it's pronounced due to, and then it's, but I don't think they say during, they'll say during. So they're more mixed, but we generally say like a J, due to summer heat. 3 months ago, an explosion caused by a gas leak at the Saragota Hotel in Havana killed 46 people. Yeah, Cuba, not at the top of the list for health and safety, it seems. From one disaster to another, the small but constant fatalities of our harsh reality will continue under a dictatorship that prioritizes the retention of power over the well-being of citizens, notes the independent site Cubanet. Okay, so there are the stories from while we were sleeping, quick headlines. Let's jump over to business expressions that I was looking at yesterday, I want to quickly recap our business expressions brought to you. And this is from Preply. We went through cut corners, back to the drawing board, call it a day. Oh, let's just quickly tell you what they are. Cut corners is to do something quickly while probably saving yourself money and time. Generally negatively. It's seen as negative. Back to the drawing board where you something fails or it's not liked. Maybe it's not going to work. You have to go back and start all over again. Call it a day. That's generally used for let's just finish work. Let's call it a day. Whatever we're doing, let's call it a day. Let's finish. Workflow, the amount of work you have, either good or bad. So workflow issues are problems. All right, let's go down now here. Touch base. You guys are probably familiar with this. If you're in the business world, you're using this touch base. What does it mean? Let's zoom in here. Touch base. If you could just touch base with Ritesh after the meeting, that would be great. To touch base with someone is to talk to them, whether digitally, online, or in person. Usually briefly. Okay, get in contact briefly with somebody. It usually described keeping someone up to date with developments or something you are both working on. Yeah, nowadays a lot of people are WFH. Do you remember what that is? WFH, working from home. It's very basic language in English for saying you're doing in Spanish is teletrabajo or whatever, but in English very basic. WFH, working from home. Get in contact with someone. You're working online. It's always good to get in contact with your colleagues. How are you doing? Where are we up on this? What shall we do? Blah, blah, blah. Touch base. This is an expression that business jargon has adapted from the world of sport. In baseball, players touch base with their feet in order to be safe or to record an out. Yeah, the base is those kind of square things that they use in baseball. You run from first base, second base, third base. Interesting point. When you're younger, we used to talk about when you're with a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and you talk about when you're with someone, where did you get to? And the first base, second base, you can use your imagination. You have an idea what it is. I'm sure. Let me know what you, if it's anything similar in your country. But that's what we're going to be doing here, mixing real life with some business English. Number 6 we're on to now, reach out. Don't hesitate to reach out to Helen if you have any questions. To reach out is to get in contact with someone, usually a person who you do not know well. It is very common, but when you first hear it, seems like a very strange use of the word reach, which implies physical stretching. When you're stretching, you're reaching for something. I had to do it this morning. I was trying to reach for something that was high. Need something to chat about when you are casually reaching out to someone. Check. Okay. Right. So reach out. If you need help with someone, get in contact. You can reach out to Helen. Okay, let's just take, for example, James, we've done this for you. We've installed this on your computer. If you need any help, you can reach out to our customer services department, and Helen there will take care of you. Excellent. Keep me in the loop. A lot of you guys will know what this means, and you'll know what they mean. We're just recapping. If you don't know what they mean, this is what we're doing here. Keep Stuart in the loop when discussing the merger, please. The merger is two businesses coming together. Keep me in the loop on decisions. Keep me in the loop on decisions about the targets for the next quarter. Let me know. To keep me, him, or keep me, her, him, them in the loop means to keep someone involved and updated about developments in a project. It comes from looping someone into an email chain, that is CCing them into the digital conversation. Okay, so in the English, it depends on which country you live in, but if you have your email account in English, it will have CC, which is you're keeping someone in the loop, you're looping someone in the email, and BC is the private one, because I think when it's obviously in different languages, it's going to be different letters. You can keep someone in the loop by informing them of what happens in meetings and alerting them when decisions are made. Okay, keep me in the loop. Let me know. Keep me updated. Okay. So this is a drill. And this person is drilling down into this board. Drill down into. I think we can drill down into this further when we meet with the product team. To drill down into something is to explore it in more depth. Yeah, it's a nice one. I like this one, to drill down into something. I heard one the other day, which I thought was pretty good. Similar to drill down, and it was like when you have your mouse, and it was double click or right click. Was it right click or left click? Anyway, it was like click on something, or double click or right click or left click, and is similar to this. It was like look into it, because when you click on a window, then you open the window. So I thought that was a nice expression, but I've already forgotten it. Right click, left click, double click. Let's go down, drill down. Okay, as of yet. Okay. As of yet, we have no plans to hire a social media. This is very commonly seen in emails and means at the moment. This is another time when business jargon defies English grammar rules, yet still comes across as formal. Okay. Yes, it's a good one. It's a good one. You stick it at the beginning of your sentence or at the end. We have no plans to hire a social media manager as of yet, or as of yet we have no plans to hire a social media manager at the moment. As of yet, it's quite nice. Quite nice. If you don't use it and you want to say you generally use at the moment, use as of yet. It's quite nice. Moving on down, we'll do another few. Forward planning. I think we need a degree of forward planning on this issue. Many business terms make basic concepts sound complicated in order to come across a little more impressive, and this is one of them. Forward planning just means planning, since all planning is for activities that will take place in the future. Okay, I'm daydreaming here. Let me just quickly go over this again. Many business terms make basic concepts sound complicated in order to come across a little more impressive. And this is one of them. Forward planning just means planning. Okay. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Since all planning is for activities that will take place in the future. Okay. I think we need a degree of planning on this issue. I think we need a degree of forward planning. Yeah, you'll sound better. You'll sound better if you're going to say forward planning. Okay. Oh, at the end of the day. This is an expression that it can get overused. You got to be careful with this, but if you don't use it, use it. I mean, it's nice. It's definitely nice to get used to. At the end of the day, we did the best we could in a difficult situation. Despite the reference to the ending of the day, this phrase has nothing to do with time or going home after work. It means when everything is taken into consideration, and it's used to signify that a speaker is giving their concluding statement on a matter. It can be exchanged for the word ultimately. Yeah, ultimately we did our best. Ultimately we did the best we could in a difficult situation. At the end of the day, we did the best we could in a difficult situation. It's a fantastic phrase. If you don't use it, try and use it and mix it with ultimately. Let me see if there are any other things we could say. You could say, well, look, in the end, or basically we did it the best we could in it. But it's nice. Ultimately, or at the end of the day. Very common to use. When everything is said and done is another one. 12, proactive. I would really appreciate if you could be proactive on attracting new clients, George. This word is not solely used in corporate speak, but it is overused in an office setting. Okay, overused is used too much. To be proactive is to take the initiative on something, which usually means embarking on a new task yourself without waiting for your colleagues or boss to prompt you. It might also mean making the first step in contacting someone you are going to work with. So just use your own initiative to get started on something. Don't wait for your colleagues or your boss. So using your own initiative. Proactive, definitely. It is a buzzword which does get used a bit too much. Like bosses, like, come on, we need to be proactive. But an expression I would say here is it goes without saying, which means it's logical. Don't need, but maybe some people do need to. Maybe they wait too much to be told what to do. So they need to be pushed, and their boss or manager will say, come on, guys, we need to be proactive. Number 13, action points. Okay, and after this, I'm going to take a break from this. And I've realized I've run out of coffee, and that's not good. Action points. I came out of the meeting with 3 action points. 1, email facilities about the printer. As an action point, I will listen to some training podcasts. Action points are, as you might guess, proposals for specific actions to be taken. This phrase is often heard towards the end of any meeting or written at the end of a long email. It is not grammatical, but it is useful since it flags up that you intend to translate ideas from a discussion into practical results. As an action point, I will... Okay. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. As an action point, I will listen to some training podcasts. Proposals for specific actions to be taken. Yeah, nice. What can you do? Translate ideas from discussion into practical results. Okay. I like it. Action points. Yeah. What can you do? What are you going to do? So as an action point, I can do this. Yeah, it's nice. Right, finally, to action, actionable. I love your idea about painting the fence, but I don't think it's actionable at the moment. That's a good idea. I'm going to action that this afternoon. Strictly speaking, the word action is a noun. However, in business English, it's often used as a verb. To action something means to do it. The word action makes the mundane act of getting a task completed sound more dynamic and important. Yeah, okay, that's true. Similarly, to describe something as actionable means that it's possible to get it done. Sometimes you might say it's not doable. When something is doable, you could say, is that doable? Or is that not doable? It's not doable. So is that actionable? I don't think it's actionable. I don't think we can do it. I don't think it's possible to do it. Yeah, it's nice. Actionable. Yeah, these are good. These are good expressions. Try and get at least one into your day. And it kind of is a... I would say, you know, often we learn these words and... you learn the words, you become familiar. But I would say just one of the words. Try and pick one word and say, I'm gonna get this into work today. Do you think that could be actionable? Is that doable? Okay. So that was from Preply. We're on number 14. You might have to remind me in the next video where we are on that. And I'm going to go back over here because I saw something that I wanted to look at. All these from the International Post. And the most read story, where are we? Something about Spain. So let me go over here. Let's go into the economy. It was something about Spain, about one of the best countries in Europe. But of course it's gone missing now. Oh well, we'll find it again. Once I see what the most read stories are, if anybody can see, here we are. Right, let's look at this. Climate. Spain, the most pleasant country in the world, risks becoming uninhabitable. Get rid of that. We get rid of something is you take it away, you throw it away, you lose it, whatever. To get rid of something. The rural exit. Okay. Spain, the most pleasant country in the world, risks becoming uninhabitable. Who is... Okay. The rural exodus and global warming are making whole regions unrecognizable, regrets a former correspondent of the Financial Times in Spain. Okay, I think this bird is a swallow. An expression for this bird alone is one swallow doesn't make a summer. Because often you'd be in the UK and the swallows come in the summertime when the weather sometimes gets better. And often people would think, the swallows are here, they've arrived, or they see one or two, and they believe that, okay, the weather's going to be good now. And then, of course, it's not true. The weather gets bad again. It's not really summertime. So the expression is, one swallow doesn't make a summer. So another way to say it in a business sense would be, don't, just because things look like they are going to be okay, it doesn't necessarily mean it. Okay. Another one is, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. More common. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. The hatch is when they come out of the egg. So one swallow doesn't make a summer. Just be calm. Wait. After the year he has just spent in Madrid, the British journalist Simon Cooper is convinced Spain is the most pleasant country in the world. I live in Spain, and it is a very pleasant country indeed. In fact, even more so for foreigners who are lucky enough to live there only for the average Spaniard. Yes, I am a foreigner living in Spain. But the orange dust from the Sahara that had accumulated on her balcony this spring suddenly struck her as a dark omen. Right, so in 50 years, will there still be inhabitants in the center of our country? He wonders anxiously in his Financial Times column. Right, so what happened recently in Spain, you guys will know, is that the dust came up from the Sahara, and it settled all over the country, and it's called Calima, for anyone who doesn't know. And absolutely, where I live in Malaga, it destroyed the place because it obviously came, and as well in the rest of the country, the rain brought it down onto it. It absolutely destroyed the buildings here. Are still destroyed. It's kind of all brown. They look old. From a political and economic point of view, the assessment he draws up of the developments he has observed is quite largely favorable. As the writer Javier Cercas says, the last 40 years have been the best in the country's history. Spanish democracy has stabilized, terrorism has been eradicated in the Basque Country. The inhabitants generally benefit from recent good quality infrastructures, and the life expectancy of Spaniards, which currently stands at 84 years, is expected to become the highest in the world by 2040. Yep. The infrastructure here, the public transport here is excellent. Just so you know, any Spanish people watching this, your public transport is way better than any country I've been in. France is close, but I do believe that Spain is better. The UK, Ireland, Germany, where else have I been and spent time? Turkey. Here, the UK, it's awful. It's awful. Everything's been privatized, and I'm not saying that it's because it's a political point of view. It's not a political point of view. It's just the service. I can't even think now. Buses, trains, and so on for public transport. Horrible, 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 and absolutely terribly expensive. The underground in London doesn't even have air conditioning. So where are we? 2040. The columnist recognizes at the same time some flats on the social level. The average Spaniard lives in often poor housing, lives in a Soviet-looking building, and the median net income doesn't quite reach 16,000 euros a year. But the situation is gradually improving and unemployment remains at its lowest since 2008. So here I'm saying 2008, but but now it's 2022. So generally before 2010, we'll say 2000 and. That's kind of something that does seem it's a bit tricky for people learning English. Before 2010, 2000 and 2008, or you don't have to say and if you don't want, 2008, 2003, 2010, 2011, 2012. Madrid has become the London of Spain, surpassing Barcelona as a business hub and vying, that's when you're in competition, with Miami for the title of capital of the Spanish-speaking world. Ah, okay. Well, I would expect it to be. I didn't know it was in competition with Miami. Still, there are actually two Spains today. One is densely populated, the other is almost deserted. Moments after your train leaves Madrid or the coast, you find yourself in an almost abandoned country. Here is an image that I will retain of Spain. An uninhabited farmhouse with a red roof, lost in the middle of the wasteland, with the only sign of human presence in the distance, a few wind turbines. Yeah, it is. They even have a minister here in Spain for the empty rural area, or a minister for the countryside. It is a problem. A lot of Spanish people do know this, but I don't know. I don't know if in the future it could be. It does seem that in most of the world, most people are being drawn more and more and more to the cities. And in Spain, there does seem, there is a lack of cities in the center and so on. The situation that climate change is likely to worsen, the journalist gives an apocalyptic description of the landscape seen traveling from Valencia to Cadiz. Fields with cracked and arid ground make the country look like North Africa. Desertification already affects a fifth of the territory. 1,000-year-old agriculture may be on the way out. Okay, so it is a problem here. However, contrary to, on the other hand, to what one might think, the climate does not currently seem to be the question that primarily concerns Spaniards. They spend more time discussing national unity, with Spain's great trauma remaining the illegal Catalan independence referendum of 2017. Yeah, it is quite noticeable that it still is here in Spain noticeable from this illegal Catalan referendum. People are, you see the rise of nationalism and people wearing Spanish flags and so on. And generally it's okay, and why not wear the Spanish flag? But it has, and in a lot of different countries, for example, in the UK, the English flag was hijacked by nationalists and football hooligans. And here in Spain, it's being used. I as a foreign person, kind of think it doesn't need to be as visible. I start questioning, like, why do I see the Spanish flag so often? Why do I see people with the Spanish flag on their car? And it does look to me to be a reaction and a support of Spanish nationalism because of the Catalan situation that happened in 2017. Simon Cooper leaves Madrid with the feeling that global warming could prove particularly devastating in Spain, and that politicians have already made up their minds about the desertification of entire regions. I'm going back to Paris, but it's not an adios, it's hasta luego. Okay, so adios is goodbye, and then hasta luego, see you later. By crossing our fingers, okay, so fingers crossed, hopefully, that Spain remains at the top of the most pleasant countries to live in. Okay, I think most of you guys at the moment looking at this are from Spain, and definitely it is a fantastic country. But would be interested to know what your opinions are on the Spain's situation, the Spain being emptied, is maybe you don't see it as a problem at all. Maybe it's good to have lots of breathing space in the country. Maybe it's better to have people living in concentrated urban areas. What's your opinion? And where do you think your country stands? Have you seen more beautiful countries? Are there countries that you think are more diverse? I personally there is a big difference between the south of Spain. To be honest, you have mountains here in the south, in the Sierra Nevada. You go up to the north, it's very totally different climate, like an oceanic climate. So let me know what you think of your own country and what you think about other countries you've been to. So another thing, I'm going to move on now because I want to talk to you about... let me go over here. I wanted to talk to you guys about interviews. And I'm going to be uploading some videos with Elica Formación, which we are doing this live broadcast in association with Elica Formación. And we're going to be looking at the top 20 most common interview questions. So I'm just going to... so the top 20 most common interview questions, and normally question number 1 in the top 20 most common interview questions is tell me about yourself. So I'm interested to know how you guys tackle these questions because I've been looking at it and I've been trying to organize this video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through what I have here with you guys and let me know what you guys think. Okay, so it's tell me about yourself. So here we have that it's basically a way to break the ice in an interview and make you feel more comfortable. It's also a way for the interviewer to determine if you're a good fit for the job. So before going to an interview, consider what you want to say before describing yourself to potential employers. You don't need to focus on a long list of places where you've worked or the qualifications that you have. You want to go for a more low-key answer and try to adapt and mention hobbies that would be useful or interesting for the job. So is this a way that you would approach the question? So let's have a look. Mentioning hobbies such as long-distance running or yoga will help represent your healthy, energetic side. Pursuits such as being an avid reader, solving crossword puzzles, brain teasers is going to help show that you have more intellectual leaning. If you have interests such as golf or tennis, gourmet food, these will be useful if you're going to be entertaining clients in your new job. Is that something you agree with? Do you think that would come across as useful? Volunteer work will demonstrate the seriousness of your character and commitment to the welfare of your community. Interactive roles like working on a PTA, like as a PTA volunteer. Do you guys know what PTA is? Anybody? Parent-Teacher Association, PTA. So I think it's AMPA in Spanish. Museum tour guide, fundraiser, or chair of a social club will show your comfort with engaging with other people. Remember, one of the goals of this question is to get to know you a little bit beyond your career and experience. So if you're an interviewer, what do you think of these ideas? Let me know. You can give me a comment, and we're going to look at an example here where someone is in an interview situation and they're going to tie in their work experience with their hobby and bring it back around to show how their hobbies and how they are, as a real person, can work in an interview. So we get someone here who's an electrician. I've been an electrician for with 10 years experience in residential construction. After earning my electrician's certificate at ABC Tech, I apprenticed with Jones Brothers, and then they hired me as a journeyman electrician. 4 years later, I earned my certification as a master's electrician. When I'm not working, I like to spend time exploring with my dogs. I like to take them hiking, visiting historical sites, or even just walking around town. and a surprising number of people are actually drawn to the dogs, and I always enjoy talking with who I meet when I'm out and about. I feel that communication is also one of the most important aspects of my professional life as well. When talking with people, I find being able to guide the conversation in a particular direction is one of the ways I've been successful in different situations at the office. So this works because you're sharing that you like dogs, but you're also establishing the fact that you enjoy talking with people and you understand the importance of communication, which is a very valued skill in many roles. So what do you guys think? Is this a good idea, a way of, because often you'll sit down for an interview and maybe a lot of people don't take this question seriously. You might say, oh, tell me about yourself. And then maybe you just jump into your work experience. But is this a good idea? Maybe tying in work and hobbies and then bringing it around to work again. I think it's an interesting idea. I like it. Another example. Let's have a look at this example. I participate in charity walks several times a year. Recently, I did the Walk for Hunger, and I have a few events planned for the summer and fall, or fall is the American way of saying autumn. I have a few events planned for the summer and fall as well. I walk for exercise with friends after work and on the weekends. I enjoy the fresh air, learning new routes and connecting with new people. I also enjoy the fundraising aspect, which has come in handy or useful in my job. I've learned how to connect with people and increase their commitment to the cause. So there's a couple of examples of how you can tie in your interests and your hobbies with your professional, how you act or behave in your professional career. So I think it's quite useful. You do need to consider this question carefully when you sit down and think, okay, because this is more than likely, and it's going to be question number one. So be ready for it. And we'll be looking at one of these every video. Maybe I'll do one or two, but that is tell me about yourself. And we're doing a series on this of the 20 most common interview questions. Moving across, I meant to look at the word of the day. Let me go in and look for that. I'm going to go and do word of the day. Word of the day from English Club. English Club. I need to find a better site than this. It's all right, but sometimes I find the expressions are a bit outdated or a bit strange. Let's have a look anyway, if they're useful. Fantastic. Idiom of the day. Kill the goose that lays the golden egg. What do you guys think this is? I'm going to make a guess. You don't want to kill the goose that lays the golden egg. It's like you don't want to get rid of something that is the most important thing. Let's have a look. All right. Okay, it's similar, yeah. If you kill the goose that lays the golden egg, you destroy something that has made you a lot of money. So, okay, maybe you're a business and you have something that traditionally has been successful in your company, but now you're going to, thinking of getting rid of it, to get rid of something. Is it a good idea to get rid of the goose that lays the golden egg? This is your most important thing perhaps, but you want to try new areas. Let's have a look at an example. The thing that attracted tourists to the island was the peace and quiet, but greedy developers have killed the goose that laid the golden egg by opening noisy nightclubs, so no one goes there now. Okay, it's the main reason people went there is for the peace and tranquility, and then people come along and you have something that's great. It's like, yeah, why don't we do this as well, and we can do this, and actually you're killing the goose. Parents and agents of successful child actors and singers often kill the goose that laid the golden egg by making the kid work too much, and the kids lose the magic spark that made them special in the first place. Yeah, it's interesting. There's this kid on YouTube, super popular. His name is Ryan, and I think he's the most successful child star on YouTube. And I don't know how he's lasted so long, to be honest, because his parents seem to be pushing him, but he maybe they know how to take care of the situation and not to push him too far and not to make him do too much. So they got involved as well, and they became characters. If you have children, you more than likely know who I'm talking about. If you do allow your children to watch this child on YouTube, who is the most popular, it's full of product placement and adverts and so on. But my child watched it for a while, but then I got rid of YouTube. That's a debate in itself. Do you let your children watch social media? Do you not? It's a debate, the eternal debate question. But anyway, this child, they seem to have continued and done very well with this child. He still seems very happy. Let's go back. Phrasal verb of the day: make out. To see or hear something, but only with difficulty. The person's handwriting was really difficult to read. I can't understand the word here. Can you make it out? Okay. Can you make sense of it? Can you understand it? Can you, when you're looking at it, does it make sense to you? Make out something. If you can make out what someone's saying, ask them to. Okay, so if you imagine you're in an office and there's a glass office. In many of your offices now you have the glass offices. So someone is trying to tell you something from the other side, and they're behind it. So Paul is there. I can't make out what he's trying to say. I can't understand what he's trying to say. I can't make it out. Can you make out what he's trying to say? It's like, oh yeah, he's telling you to turn on the air conditioning from outside. Okay, to make out. Become familiar with it and then try and employ it. Slang of the day: thick United States. Could be something I used as well. I'm going to make a guess. Thick means stupid. If someone was thick, you would say they are stupid, but let's have a look. Okay, yes, this is the second meaning. Full-figured without appearing overweight. That chick is thick, dude. She has meat on her bones in all the right places: her thighs, breasts, hips, and her body. Okay, so a nice way. It's full-figured without appearing overweight. Okay. Jamie says some girls who clearly have a weight problem try to kid themselves by claiming they are thick but not fat. Another way, so basically this is thick where it looks good on your body. You're kind of heavy, but it looks good. Also, some people say big boned. I find in the north of Europe, you see people there seem to carry more weight, but it seems okay, and you say, oh, they're big boned. But in this case, it's slang. Okay, so it's thick. You might like thick people. And the other way of looking at this is the second example, is if somebody is stupid. Another way of saying it is, he's really thick. Because, English is so flexible, and like your language, there are many ways of looking at it. So this is slang. And we are going to our last one, which is a saying of the day. Dead men tell no tales. Okay. Possible interpreted: people who are no longer living cannot give evidence. Okay. Dead men tell no tales. When you're younger, someone who gives, if you can imagine you're in school, okay, I'll give you a quick, so you can get the idea as quick as possible. When you're in school and someone tells the teacher what you did, or when you're young, you hit somebody or you took something, that child that goes to the teacher is called a telltale. So the dead men tell no tales, I suppose, is in this sense, is if you're dead, you can't tell anybody anything. So you might see it in films. They can't go to the police. They can't tell the authorities. But this is something we say in English. Don't be you try to tell your children, or you'd say to someone, don't be a telltale. Telltale tattler, buy a penny rattler. That's what we used to say. If someone you would say is a telltale tattler, buy a penny rattler. A rattler is like this, so it's kind of corny. But it's native people. Everybody knows. Don't tell tales. Okay. So there we have our idiom of the day, phrasal verb of the day. This website, it's okay. It's English Club. It's hit and miss, which means sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Don't know how I got onto that guy. Okay, let's get rid of this. What's Putin up to do? Okay, that's still going on over there. And I want this website in English. Let's go into... See, normally it tells me what the most read is, so I can just go there, and if I go over here, it will probably tell me over here. No, that's annoying. Normally it does, so I can quickly go and jump into what the most popular is, because it normally appears here. But let's see. I know. I'm going to zoom out, and normally it will appear, but it's not going to appear for me today. That's the way it works. Gaza. Okay, anthropology, archaeology makes the philosophical pill, please. Right, let's go random. Third one down. Company. Okay. Electric cars. This is what we're going to look at before we sign off. Sound with electric cars, the music is on. When driving at low speeds, hybrid and electric vehicles are dangerously quiet. Car manufacturers are therefore now integrating artificial sounds to alert of their presence, often collaborating with musicians such as Hans Zimmer. This could represent the antidote to the city cacophony, hopes the New Yorker. Okay, cacophony is that all that noise we hear in the city when you open the window in the city. That's the cacophony, the noise. There's the most read over here. But anyway, this is quite good. The electrification of mobility gives humanity a rare opportunity to reinvent the sound of the city, says the Weekly New Yorker. Now, I would like to get in contact with these newspapers, eventually getting a subscription, but I can't have a subscription to all of these newspapers because it costs so much money. So what I'll hope to do is, as time goes on, and it becomes more a stream on different places, get more followers. Please tell people if this is okay for you. Tell them about. Tell them to follow me. That would be fantastic. If you're on YouTube, tell someone, subscribe. You'll see when I'm going live, and that would be fantastic. It's a new thing I'm doing, so I hope I hope you're enjoying it, and definitely want you can give me feedback. I promised you, just before I get into this article, I told you guys that I'm going to hand out a number. So I'm going to give you a WhatsApp number that you can contact. It's a Spanish number, so most of you guys are in Spain, but it is from Spain, and the number is, let me go over here, check the number for the business. I might put it in the link as well, but anyway, if you want to take it down, it's 674 148 174. 674 148 174. That is the Dream Better English number. You can get in contact and send WhatsApps. I can read them out. I can interact with you. You can also leave messages in LinkedIn or in YouTube, where I'm streaming at the moment. As things go on as well, I'm hoping to stream onto more platforms at the same time, so we can get more and more and more contact and interact with everybody. At the moment, I'm on Twitch, I'm on YouTube and I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also on Facebook, but I can only do 2 at the same time at the moment with this subscription I have. Anyway, let's go into our last thing before we go off. The electrification of mobility. Yes, okay. Because for the moment, the city is the scene of a hearing battle in which the noisiest ends up winning. But little by little, it is filled with new, softer sounds as electric and hybrid cars drive through it. Automakers are being pushed to collaborate with famous musicians to create an artificial sound emitted when idling to protect pedestrians. Idling is when your car is still, or... Well, normally when your car is idle, it's the engine is on, but you're not moving. You're not in gear. You're not moving. So they're going to try and create something when the car is not moving. Okay. And moving, I suppose. Okay, so it's not going. I have a subscription to this, but it's not going to let me. So we only need the first part anyway to get a bit of conversation. Because the wind and the noise of their tires, it's only full speed that electric cars produce about as much noise as thermal cars. The rest of the time, the motor receives electricity from the battery and runs with barely audible hum. This is a hum. Okay. Yeah, I like the sound of electric vehicles. It got that it kind of sounds very futuristic and so on. What do you guys think? Do we need a noise from electric vehicles to protect people? I'm not so sure. Yeah, I mean, I suppose something will need to be done to protect people. But I wonder how effective it really is. I wonder if it really is necessary. We don't really talk about... are they going to introduce this for scooters? Now, there's different types of scooters now. You've got the scooters, which are the new ones, which people go around on, the renting scooters, standing up. But you also have the Vespas and these motorbike scooters. We call that a scooter as well in English, so it's a bit complicated. Are we going to require these as well to put noise? And is this going to become legal? We see how interesting it goes. The cities are becoming more intolerant of traditional vehicles. So I suppose that's a good thing. Is it moving too quickly? Is it okay? Should we only allow people with electric vehicles into the center? But while this does seem like a very green idea, other people will say you're punishing the poorer people. You're punishing the poorer people because they can't afford electric vehicles. So all these things seem like a very good idea. And then, oh, well, that's okay. You don't have an electric vehicle. So what we'll do is you'll have to pay a tax. So then you're taxing the poor again. But on one hand, well, you're polluting the environment. But why don't we have a circulation tax? So when you come into the city centre, we'll make you pay for that as well, because your car is a petrol car or diesel car or so on. So I do think these all do seem like good ideas, but definitely richer people are not going to suffer. Richer people can pay the money to come into the city centre. Richer people can pay to have a nice car that's electric. And I would love to be one of those people, and but unfortunately I'm not, and also most people aren't. So how do is it just the way it is? Is it just, we're going to have to suffer? You guys can let me know what you think in the comments. Electric cars obviously do seem like a good idea, but I wonder if you guys think we should have a bit more time to phase out. To phase out is to gradually phase out the older cars. And you guys can let me know. So anyway, let me just double check something here. How long have we been on? Over an hour. Okay, good. So generally going to be doing around an hour. I obviously there's going to be things that go wrong. I have a green screen behind me. I forgot to put the to link it up to the screen behind me, but whatever. It's not that important. It's not the be all and end all. So thanks for listening to me today. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. Hope this was okay. Thank you for new subscribers on LinkedIn. Remember, you can just have this on in the background. I'm here to help your vocabulary, your pronunciation, interact with you guys. A new way of looking at English, talking about everything and anything. Today has been more of a keeping it in line with business when you're working. A lot of people, I'm on LinkedIn at the moment, so we're focusing on this. But we're also going to look at everything and anything and everything as well, so you can just improve and try and become more interactive. It would be great to hear from you guys and get your feedback. And that's it. I'm rambling now. Don't know what else to say to you. Have a great day, and I'll catch up with you either tomorrow or the next day. I'll see you later. All the best.